All right. Thank you for joining us, everyone. This is the Power of Positive Partnership for Productivity, featuring Jess and Alex of ADHD Skills with Jess and Alex. She's Jess. I'm Alex. Welcome. I pointed like that, but it just occurred to me that you might not be seeing her in that direction. You might be seeing her that direction, or maybe even that direction. Who knows? But thank you for joining us. This is our first webinar together, so we're excited. I'm coming to you live from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Jess, where are you coming from?
So I'm coming live from Sault Ste. Marie in Michigan. I'm actually, my husband's in the Coast Guard, and I'm actually on his ship right now. So back
That
onto the ship.
is amazing. Thank you for joining us, even though you're on a ship.
Yeah, pretty exciting. So I'm very excited for this.
Yep, so here we go. We're going to get started, and we're going to have time for Q&A. So if you've got any questions, pop them in the Q&A, and we will answer them towards the end of the presentation. So let's get started. First, let's start off by introducing ourselves, telling you who we are. Take it away, Jess.
Hi, so my name is Jessica. I've been coaching for about 5 years. I'm the founder of Fresh Start with Jess, which is new, so I'm very excited about that. I got into coaching because at age 14, I was diagnosed with learning disability and ADD. And once I learned to accept that, I really found a niche for wanting to help people like me. I really wanted to help people see that it's a strength, not a disability, and see all the talent they have going forth for it. Also, I've done some public speaking as well for national conferences. And I just really like advocating and everything. And coaching has just been a dream come true for me. What about you, Alex? What's your story?
Yeah, so I'm a coach as well. Been coaching for 5 years as well. I'm the founder of Reese. I'm an author too. I've written some books on ADHD, but I'm not here to pitch you on my books. You can go to Amazon, search my name, and you can find me. But I'm the founder of Reset ADHD, which is my coaching practice. I coach teens and adults who are struggling to reach their full potential. And I like to say it's my job to help people work with their brains, not against them. And I was diagnosed with ADHD, inattentive type, at the age of 20. So that's me. That's my background. Jess and I have a YouTube channel, as you may or may not know. We post videos once a month. And we're here to talk about our partnership and how partnership can be helpful for anyone who's looking to be productive, who's hoping to be more productive. So let's tell a bit about our story, Jess. How did we meet?
Yeah.
How did we start working together?
So we actually met online on an ADHD support group. I was helping run the group and everything, and I discovered that Alex was a coach. He has his own coaching company. So I was really interested in learning more about Alex and his company, and also just networking, really, is how we first started to know each other. And then we got to know each other a little bit more. And then I was really interested in making a video because I was kind of exploring doing that and being more of an advocate and everything in the video making. So I asked him if he wanted to do a video with me, and he said sure. We did one video. Then Alex, take it away. What happened after that? One video.
Nothing happened after that. We had a break. We didn't work together for a while. We were still Facebook friends and occasionally would comment on something on Facebook, send a text message here and there about coaching. But for the most part, we weren't really talking. And then I decided that I wanted to get more into video. And I didn't really know how to make videos. And I kind of knew how to make videos, but I didn't really know what videos I wanted to make, how I could take my skills and information and put them into videos. And my coach one day just said to me, Alex, why are you trying to do this by yourself? And so it dawned on me that I've got someone who would be willing to do a video with me, do videos, plural, with me. So I reached out to Jess again, and we've been making a video once a month pretty much ever since then. So that's our story. Now a little bit about how we work together.
Yeah, super, super important, I would say. So a little bit about my style, just in personality in general, is I'm more talkative. I'm definitely more of the extrovert. And I'm someone that, for me, it's helpful to talk my thoughts out. So just talking in general helps me to process. So I'm definitely the more talkative one in the sense, and definitely kind of the one that when we have our meetings and everything, I kind of take charge, not in an authoritative way, but more in like a leadership role, but also just to help us keep us on track a little bit. So that's just kind of my personality. And then what's really nice is that Alex has learned to accept that, and I've learned to accept his style, which he'll tell you about in a minute. And so that's just really been one way that really helps us to work together, is just understanding and knowing each other's style. Alex, what's your style?
Yeah, so I'm more of a thinker. Jess is more of a talker. I'm more of a thinker. So I won't say I'm a slow processor, but it does take me a little bit to think through things. I like having the space to think, and Jess is really good about giving me the space to think. So in our meetings, she does a lot of talking. I do a lot of thinking. I also take notes because they help me remember what we talked about. And then if Jess forgets what we talk about, I can send her the notes. She can look them over and we can go from there. So just having that, balance between thinking and talking, I found has been really helpful for us. It's a good balance. Oh, and we have lost Jess. Okay. That is fun. All right. Oh, here she is. Welcome back, Jess.
Thanks. Sorry about that, guys. Being on
So
the
yeah,
sea.
I was just about to carry on for us, but then you popped back on. So technology is great when it works. But anyway, yeah, so we were just talking about balance. Anything you wanted to add about balance, Jess?
So the great thing about balance is really just knowing each other's style and then being able to accept it and being able to work together about it. So, and also taking each other's weight. So, for example, sometimes if Alex is trying to think about something but needs more time to process it, I give him that time to process, right? If he knows I need the time to process out loud, he gives me that space to talk out loud and just talk it through. He writes down in his notebook and his journal, and he's kind of the note taker, as I say, for us. So we knowing that for each other, we give each other that space to do it, and we're welcoming to each other, and that's really the key thing. And also, it's taken us months and months to figure out what works. So this isn't something that happens overnight. This is something that grows and develops in friendships.
Yeah.
And one thing too is,
Oh, sorry.
yeah, nope, you don't. Go ahead. It's all you.
Well, I was just going to continue on, but if you had another point before we get going. Okay.
You're all good.
We practice this, we promise. But anyway, we have regular meetings. So we meet once a week is kind of what we aim for, maybe once every other week. But we kind of schedule things out and talk about at the end of each meeting when we're going to meet next and what we're going to do in our next meeting. Are we going to film? Are we going to talk about our next video? Are we going to work on a presentation like this? So we have our regular meetings. And in those meetings, we also communicate how we're feeling and what we feel we can do. Because there was one time we tried meeting on a Friday morning. Long week for both of us. We were both really tired and nothing was really happening. And so we just had to get honest with ourselves and say, okay, it's not happening today. So we managed to squeak out a little bit of work, and then we rescheduled for another time to talk when we were going to be both present and able to talk. So we accommodate how we're feeling. We ask that question, how can we accommodate what we're feeling right now and what we're able to do? We're also flexible. So like on that Friday morning when we couldn't really get anything going, we were flexible and said, okay, let's cut this meeting short and let's schedule another time where we're going to be better. So having that flexibility is really important when you're working together. We'll also need to set goals and expectations. So for us, that means a monthly video. And we decide who does what in the partnership. And yeah, just having those clear goals and expectations of what each person does. So I have a question for you, Jess. What makes a good partnership?
So definitely there's 3 parts. I'll talk about the first 2 parts and then Alex will take away the last one. So accountability, honesty, and unique for our partnership, right? So accountability, what does that really mean? So for us, accountability means keeping each other up to the expectation that we create for ourselves and that we have created for each other. For example, we ask each other, you know, would you like reminders for something? Would you, if you forget to do research or something, would you like me to text you? So we check in with each other on how we're doing. We make sure there's clear expectations. Hey, Jess, I'm going to write down these things. Remind me next time to look back at our notes when we're discussing. Sometimes you have to do that. I say, Alex, do you mind texting me what I need to look up or what I need to review? So we have clear expectations, and being very, very clear with ourselves helps us understand where we stand. I just want to like really emphasize, just because we can't mind read, so we don't know what each other are thinking unless we say it out loud. And that's the only way to make sure that everyone's on the same page. Because, you know, like being flexible, for example, if I be flexible but I feel bad about it, I don't know how Alex is really feeling unless he tells me. If he's like, Jessica, I'm kind of frustrated that this keeps happening, let's come to what's going on. But if he doesn't say that, then I don't know, and I just assume it's fine when it's really not. So definitely, for sure. Also, setting deadlines. That is a huge, huge thing that we've noticed over time, is that if we don't set a deadline, then sometimes we just get lost in our thoughts and conversation and with ideas too. So usually regular meetings we'll just chit chat for a bit, catch each other up, and then figure out, okay, what do we want our next video to be, your next task. But if we don't set a deadline for ourselves, then every meeting gets like that and we get lost in the loop that I call it. And then nothing happens. So at the beginning of every month, we sit down and say, when do we want our video to be at? What do we want to accomplish? And we put it in our phones as a reminder or on our calendar. So deadlines is great. And checking in with each other, like I said before, it's a friendly reminder check-in, because we're also friends. We're not, we're coworkers, but we're also friends. So it's just showing that gesture as well, because sometimes you need that. You don't know how that person's day is. So just showing that you're also a friend and also a partner working together is pretty awesome. Honestly, like I said before, being honest with each other, but also with ourselves. So honest with ourselves, what does that mean exactly, right? Say that you're having a bad day and you know that I had to hop on to a business call, but deep down, I'm not really going to get much done. I'm not going to get my 100%. And that's not fair for Alex. So I need to tell Alex up front, hey, just to let you know, what's kind of happened this week. I'm not really feeling up to it, or I'm having a hard day. We can meet today, but I'm not going to be 100% myself. Like, can I still offer, or how can I contribute? And Alex will let me know if is it worth meeting or is it worth rescheduling. So then I'm being honest with myself that, hey, I'm not fully myself, but I'm also being honest with Alex and helping him understand where I stand. Because if anything, maybe just talking it out for 15 minutes will help me feel better, and then we can get to what we need to get to, plan for that scheduled appointment we had set up. So definitely, for sure, being honest with each other and being honest with ourselves.
Yeah. And it's important to remember that this is going to be unique for each partnership. So we've got 2 unique individuals in our partnership, and we come together and we present videos to the public. And so that partnership is going to be unique because we're both unique. So if you're going to form a partnership for yourself to help you be productive, it's going to have to be unique to what you need and desire in a partnership and what's going to work for you. So, and that's the bottom line. You have to create what's going to work for you. That may be meeting once a month. That may mean meeting once a quarter, what's going to work best for you and the partner you're working with. So that's, you know, our kind of philosophy on what makes a good partnership. And um it's our opinion, but this is what's worked well for us. So with that being said, here's our YouTube channel. It's ADHD Skills with Jess and Alex. Hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. Hit the like button on all our videos. You can go to YouTube, search ADHD Skills with Jess and Alex, and you can find our videos. Or if you want to be all fancy, you can pull out your phone right now, scan the QR code, and that will take you directly to our YouTube channel. So, as I mentioned at the beginning of our presentation, I mentioned that we would be doing Q&A. So now is the time for Q&A. If you've got questions, throw them in the chat, and either Jess or I will answer them. I will answer them right now because Jess has dropped off again. Technical difficulties there, but I'm sure she'll be back soon. And yeah. So if you have any questions, let us know. One question that we do get is, how do we handle conflict? Welcome back, Jess. We're on to the Q&A now. We did the pitch.
Yes, I'm very sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. We get it.
Follow us. Make sure you follow us. I want to hear questions.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I was just saying one question we've gotten before is, how do we handle conflict? And I think it goes back to honesty. Just having that honest conversation with our partner in this partnership is in just saying, hey, this is how I'm feeling. This is what I'm noticing. And notice the words I use there. I'm feeling this. I've noticed this. Making I statements is really helpful when you're having these conversations. Instead of saying, you always do this. Don't do that. Don't do that. Jess, do you have any thoughts on conflict?
Yeah, so I definitely would agree. Is definitely the I statements are helpful, and also be open and you might feel vulnerable a little bit because you're opening yourself up, but also ask the other person, what do you think would help make this situation better, or what do you think will help make me better in this situation? So ask their opinion. So also, because they might see it differently than you do, so kind of ask them as well. And say, like, I know this is like a conflict and this is the area, but like, what are you seeing from your eyes? How do you see this? Because it might be good to also see it from their lens as well, because you're telling them how you see it from your lens, but see if they see it, because they might notice it. They might become more self-aware of it, or they might just not notice it at all. But it's interesting to ask, what do you see from your lens? How's it helpful? Because then you're able to come to a solution a little faster, because you're able to understand their lens. They are understanding your lens because you're telling them. But if you don't give them the opportunity to tell them and ask them, hey, can you explain to me what you're seeing from your eyes? Then that's also really helpful as well.
I like that. That was very good. Thank you for sharing. I feel like I had another thought, but it is escaping my memory at the moment. Yeah. Anything else you think people are curious about while we wait for questions to come in, or?
So I would say, also, I don't know if people know, but we're on different time zones. So that makes things a little more difficult for us. So sometimes be thinking about, how do you, is it really worth doing it for the different time zones, and how you guys make sure that your schedules work, especially if you guys are both working full time throughout the whole day and everything. And so what we've come to notice for us is that we pick the same time roughly on the same day, or just the same time roughly during that week. So we have blocked out our schedules, knowing we have clients, but we blocked out, hey, I know I need to meet with Alex at this time, Tuesdays between 10 and 11 Eastern time. So I keep that because I know, and I'm aware that he has his own job, obviously, and different time zones. And so I want to be cognizant of that as well. So be aware that if you are working in different time zones, it doesn't mean that it's not possible. It just means you have to be more aware of their schedule. Also ask them, what time do you get up? Is it better to meet in the morning, afternoon, or at night? Is it better to meet on the weekend? So also figure out for yourself what works for you and ask them what works for them as well. That helps to find a middle ground, especially in your different time zones as well. Because I know that for a while it took us a little time to kind of get used to, but then once we figured out, it was pretty easy. So just
Yeah.
something a little interesting about us.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that in a while, just because we've pretty much gotten down the whole time zone thing.
Yep.
Interesting, uh, interesting little insight there. Yeah. So, I'm not seeing any questions in the Q&A. It last call for questions. Basically, what we've been talking about is a partnership between Jess and I, and what we can learn from it, how we can inspire others to be partnership partners in being product. Wow, I'm going to start that sentence over. We've been talking about how Jess and I have this partnership where we make YouTube videos, and we're talking about how it can inspire others to be productive by forming their own partnership. So yeah, if you're just joining us, we are kind of wrapping up unless there are any final questions. Don't worry though if you've missed it, because we're going to post the recording of this onto YouTube sometime between now and tomorrow. Probably
Yeah,
won't be right away tonight, but it'll happen between now and the next 24 hours, I would say.
yeah. And also, people, if you guys have any suggestions for ideas for different videos or different things, or you want to learn about, or any questions too, feel free to chat us on our YouTube page or also on our Facebook page as well. So feel free, if you want to reach out after the fact and have any thoughts, please feel free to reach out. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Yeah, we want to make YouTube videos that are applicable to your life. So if you're looking for a specific video on something about ADHD, let us know, because we can make a video about that.
Yep, ask away. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for joining us, and we will see you on YouTube, hopefully. So thanks for joining us. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And Jess, any final comments you'd like to make before we say goodbye to the fair people at home?
So much for joining us. I look forward to hearing from you guys, and please feel free to give any comments, questions. Find us on YouTube and also on our Facebook page. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night.